Well, hello, you wayward weirdos. Today, I want to talk about how, basically, lack of self love and self assurance leads to a lot of hate and fear on opposing beliefs and opinions from other people, especially in social media. And I want to talk about that for this day. So, human beings are pack animals by nature. We're like wolves. Like, we love community. We love the sense of belonging. Even if you are introverted, there is some part of you that wants closeness with somebody else, because that is who we are in our truth. Like, our deep core truth is the vibration of love, just as animals are, like that closeness, that connection. It's a very feeling thing, and that's something that we can't really synthetically mimic. It's so real in us, right? It's one of the truths of who we are. And because of this, and when you're growing up in a society that teaches you a lot of things that are against yourself, like, you should believe in this or that, or you should do things this way, or you're weird if you express yourself or you do things in a different way. Society really, I know we kind of got rid of a simulation with culture back in the day, but it's still ongoing in a sense that there is a mainstream narrative in this world, and people want, people in the higher ups, like the people that control the media and the government and stuff, like they want you to follow the main narrative of what reality is. Because reality is based on all of our collective perceptions of reality. So you perceive reality differently than I perceive reality, but collectively, our reality is based on those minor agreements that we perceive as true, right? So that's our reality. And when I talk about social media and how it's really easy now to find people that agree with what you agree with, and believe in the things that you believe in, and perceive things that you perceive. A lot of people are connecting over social media nowadays, and that's a good thing. That's really cool. It's quick connectivity. Sorry, my sage is like burning out of control. I have to stop it. So it's fast connectivity, and you basically find what you're looking for, and you find your community, and you can find a place to belong. And I think that's really important. I think a lot of people I think we all need to find some sort of community and sense of belonging, to give us that to help us feel that purposeful meaning in life, right? Like, we got to find our own destiny and our own purpose, but it's important to have others on your side. And what happens is when we are so used to getting this instant gratification and this instant things through social media and things like that, it's easy to find people that connect with you. But what happens when you're in a position where someone, types up or posts a very opposing belief, that really diminishes like your morals and values and things like that, like really harsh, threatens your sense of identity and perception of life, right? Like there's always people out there with opposing opinions. But for some reason, it's easier to have a conversation with someone like that in person and still like the person. Like, you can have a debate on beliefs, and yeah, you can get angry and heated, but it's different, and it's less than the type of aggression and hatred that comes from fighting over social media. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Like, me and my boyfriend don't always, or my current boyfriend, we don't always agree on things in life. And the things, our values are the same. They kind of look different, and they're placed in different areas. And we used to argue a lot at the beginning. But I believe because we had the ability to be in person and talk it out and talk out our differences of opinions, as much as we didn't agree and we didn't really like the other opinion, it was easier to learn about them, feel their energy, and understand each other. So my boyfriend understands me way better than he ever has before, because we had to have that fight and talk it out and really come to some conclusions and just working to understand each other. And I think that's beautiful. Like, you don't have to agree or like what the other person thinks, but understanding why someone believes something or perceives life in a different way is super important. And understanding that you don't have to, if you're fighting with somebody, like, you don't have to like who they are, or you don't have to agree with what they believe in, but to hate somebody because of it, like, it's just a bit much, man. Like, calm down. But for real, like, we don't need that. Like, the world is a better place when we look at it with curiosity versus fear. So when my boyfriend and I, we respect each other now because we know we believe and see things very differently, but we also know that we both want the best out of life and the world and other people. And I think at the heart of it, most people just want the best out of life and other people and the best for themselves. Like, that's what we really want in the core of it, right? Because our main true vibration is that of love and connection. So even though we're born into this world with different, unique ideas, thoughts, looks, appearances, all that stuff, ways of living and culture and things like that, we present ourselves differently and we see things differently, but we all have that one need that connects us, and that's love, and that's the fact that we believe in something in life, and we all want to live a good life, and we all want to live a meaningful life and a purposeful life, and we all want a sense of community. That is the thing that everyone wants. And if there's, and when I talk about like narcissists and sociopaths and all that dark stuff, those are people that really lacked it growing up. Like, people that seem messed up in society, those are the ones that didn't really get their needs met, and it turns sour and it sucks, right? And that's me giving you an understanding of how some people, grow up and accumulate information, and it can be how someone treats them or what they're taught. And so you grow up accumulating this information and you start to perceive life a certain way. And you absolutely have the power to look inside yourself and change these perceptions. But whether or not that happens, people just have what is true to their hearts and what they believe in and is true. And just having that understanding that that's how it is and that's okay. And you can believe in what you believe in and be totally okay with that, and have someone else believe in something else. Like, that's a beautiful thing. Like, it's like when I learned how to do that, like, I don't feel fear from other people. I don't hate people as much. Like, I don't get as triggered or as angry because I know it's okay to have my beliefs too. And I think that's part of the problem is people don't believe they can, like, I'm just going to close my door. People don't believe, like, okay, well, I can't say this for sure, but what I tend to get from people is when you try to get someone to see your perspective, it's almost like a threat to their perspective. Meaning, like, if I get you to see what I'm seeing, that means what you're seeing as truth isn't real. But that's not the case. Whatever's true to you in this reality is completely true to you, and it's so valid, right? Because you're the one perceiving this life and this existence, perceiving what you're perceiving, and there's going to be people out there that perceive the same way as you do, right? It's just, life is literally yin and yang of opposing polarities, and integration is the constant of these polarities coming together. There's always going to be one meeting with opposite, and I really believe that's the purpose of growth. Like, the purpose for growth. So when you meet opposing opinions and beliefs and it triggers you, or you're debating or something, or someone has a different idea, not only does it trigger something inside of you that you can question about yourself, like, why does this make me feel unstable? Is there something I need to learn in regards to self-empowerment and self-love? Or is this more like, what was I going to say? So there's that. But then there's, I always get forgetful, like, when I go on the most powerful rants. There's that. And then there's the fact that it, like, expands your mind, and it opens your perspective to new ideas and new situations, or just new ways at looking at something that you thought you were so certain of. And sometimes that's a good thing. Like, I used to, take this for example. Someone's mistreated one too many times in relationships, and let's say it's a guy and he's been mistreated by a lot of girls, he might think all women are shitty at that point. And that's valid. He's been mistreated. He hasn't been treated right. But what happens is that's the truth for him, but that's not the complete truth. It's what he's been through, or, with the women that he's chosen to be with. And it's not just on him. He might not have known, but it's not the truth of how women are. It's just what he's experienced so far. So what he can take from that is try to see that women aren't all like that, and say, like, maybe there's changes that I need to make in regards to choosing women. Maybe I need to value myself more and give myself more love and attention and understanding, so I know what I really want in relationships, so I don't attract women that are shitty. And this goes with any gender or whoever you are. Like, when when it comes to love and intimacy, if it's been painful to you and hurtful, I feel for you. And it's not just that it's that one thing that you're attracted to, that's categorizing it. And, humans love to come to conclusions. Like, we love conclusions and boxing things into categories. It just helps us stay organized, right? But when you look outside of that and you see people as individuals with their own traumas, their own wounds, their own, learnings and teachings and perceptions, reality, like, it's so different and it varies. Like, we cannot really classify each other. We just learn the things that we want to learn, and then we start to perceive things in that way. And I'm going to bring this back to social media in a sec here, but like, a lot of ideas and, the mainstream beliefs, whether it's politics or spirituality or whatever, a lot of them, like, they're massive groups of teachings. And it's because we all want that sense of belonging and community. And I would say, before I get into the social media aspect, like, if you want a really good, meaningful community or sense of belonging or sense of meaning in life, follow your truth. Get to know who you are. Get to know who you are and love yourself, and know that it's okay that you might be wrong in the eyes of others. You might be a bad person in the eyes of others. And that's okay, because you're not a bad person to you. You're following your truth, and that is not bad. Unless you're like a serial killer or something, like, please stop. Like, just please don't. But the more you follow your truth and the more you express that, the people that look at you with that, or the people that judge you for that and don't really like it, like, that is life telling you these aren't the ones meant to be in your life. And you'll truly feel like whole, complete, and comfortable when you follow your truth. And then you eventually, you're going to find people that agree with you and see things the way you see things, right? And that's beautiful. And that's why I always think you should express your truth, whether or not it's opposing opinion. Like, don't be afraid of conflict, but don't fear and hate somebody for it. And the thing is when you're self-empowered and self-loved, you're not threatened by opposing opinions. You just simply understand that he or she or whoever sees it that way. That's different than you, and that's fine. Now, but human connection has a huge aspect with that. Having a real face-to-face conversation, or even a phone chat, a voice chat with somebody, is so different than just seeing, like, it's wholesome. Like, you can talk it out, you can work it out. Like, there's less, it's like the sense, it's like having human presence minimizes the level of hate there is. So I listened to this podcast, and this lady was talking about how she's trying to like, basically heal racism. And she goes to one of these white supremacists, and she requests like a meetup. Like, let's just talk. Let's have a coffee face to face. Let's just talk it out. I just want to know why you believe what you believe. And they ended up talking, he agreed, and they ended up talking for 5 hours and became friends. And the guy actually like ended up leaving his community because he wanted that's why he was there. He wanted a sense of community. But what happens is when you face an opposing or a person of opposing beliefs, or like something that's against what you're currently believing, sometimes it's worth it just to see and try to understand where that person is coming from, just for the purpose of soul growth and mental growth. And whether or not you agree with it, you don't even have to agree with it. But this person, like, he grew 10 years in the mind because of, meeting and actually talking to people, or this person of color in person versus, staying away from them and just fighting. And this is what social media does. We stay away from each other. We see a post or a quote that we disagree with and we get so angry and hateful, and we just want to be aggressive and hateful towards each other and fight. And it's like why? Why is it worth your time to see a post that triggers your personal beliefs and to have hate and discrimination back? First of all, it's a massive waste of time. It doesn't make you feel, even if you read someone out, you don't really feel better after. You might feel that good, I told them, but that comes from the spite of being triggered in the first place. And people, when they don't meet face to face, they only understand connectivity without empathy and actually feeling into somebody and knowing that they're a human being too. And there's reasons why they believe in what they believe in, whether or not it's wrong, right or wrong, right? Whether or not it's right or wrong, right? Because again, when I listened to that podcast, the guy believed he was doing something right. Because he must have, I think he either grew up in that community or, needed a sense of community. And a lot of people find things and start to believe in things because they crave that sense of community. And when he went face to face with this person that was on the opposing team and ended up talking and having a great time and really connecting, it was that person was an opposing team, but it was the connection that made it, the talking, the getting to know each other, the little bit of effort on trying to understand each other. It not only opens your mind and frees your mind, but it makes you more humble as a human being, and it makes you worry less. There's less hate. Literally when I started practicing this, there's less hate in my heart. There's less reason to feel threatened by other people and their opinions or feel angry or triggered. It's all the power to you. Believe in what you believe in. I'm going to be over here doing my thing. And, that's the thing, is not taking other people's opinions so seriously, and not even taking yourself so seriously. Being able to laugh at yourself and make jokes with yourself like you would your best friend. That is the key to self-love, is being okay with that, right? What happens is the dark side of our egos come out on social media, and we see an opposing opinion with no sense of human connection. We just see a post. We hate what's been written. So we instantly build an image of who did this. And this image is probably oh, they're a piece of shit. They're, an awful person. We just see this picture image, and we all we see is a profile picture and a nasty comment in our eyes. And we just assume. We have no idea who that person is. We have no idea what they've been through in life. We have no idea what they're going through right now. Or the fact that they could be, whether or not they believe what they believe in, they believe it with their soulful being. They wholeheartedly, when it comes to political or religious stuff. And what the tricky part is understanding that they just want what's best out of life. Whether they're misguided, mischievous souls or just people that try to do good, we most people, if you're not a sociopathic, psychopathic serial killer, you want, or narcissist, you want good out of life. And that's the real problem, is we don't see that on social media. We see the profile picture and the hateful comment, or the comment that triggers us or doesn't agree with us. And we just get angry. And unfortunately, you guys, the main media amplifies this because there's money to be made in gossip with media. There's money to be made in how many views they get. So things like the news and stuff. If you there's so many controversies and problems and issues in when it comes to the social aspects of our lives in Northern America. There's so many on the media, but if you actually do the research and look up the statistics about what's really going on, it's really not as insane as they're making it, because they want it to sound hyped, and they want you they make it so they want both different teams, left and right, or spiritual or non-spiritual, to get triggered by each other, plant-based or non-plant-based. There's even people on YouTube fighting each other about plant-based diet, meat diet, and all this stuff. And it's if you think about it, both like all these teams, like they really just want what's best for other people for the most part. I mean, there's obviously a majority of people that, do things for whatever, shits and giggles, right? But, most people, and even to some degree, some people don't even feel it that much. It's like a spectrum. Some people feel it a lot, but it's just, and especially like since the pandemic started and like people started, people's opinions about this situation, a crisis of all things, like really, like, people's opinions came out and people got threatened by them because people would have opposing opinions about the situation, and each team felt that that was a threat to their safety. And that's an extreme thing. And when you feel like, there's a group of people that are threatening your safety, like, of course you're going to be hurt. You're going to be angry. You're going to bash the other team. Like, that's just how it is because you're being threatened. And that's what animals do when we're being threatened. We need some sort of defense. We need to attack. We need to strike until we feel safe. And that's animal instincts. And that's how it is. And oftentimes when we're in a place of crisis, we feel the need to blame somebody or something, right? Like we need to reason or categorize or box things or label. And that's how our brains work. And that's totally understandable. And I'm not saying this is like, we should just fix this or, fight for a better world or whatever, because that's what we're doing. We just want a better place to live. We want a good place to live. We want to live a good life. And it's really unfortunate that people are spending a lot of their time fighting on social media instead of just living their truth. Like, stop trying to convince people that you're right on social media and just go live your truth. Like, live what you believe is right. Be that person that you believe is right. And again, when you love yourself and you have self-empowerment and you're okay with your beliefs and you're strong in them and you can even joke and laugh with yourself, you don't get threatened personally by someone else's belief. And that's the thing, is not taking other people and things so seriously. And for some reason, social media, it's been designed to keep you hooked, right? Like, you get that notification, your dopamine spikes, like you want to look at what's in that notification, like you just do. So it's kind of like a mind trap and naturally addictive thing that, well, not natural. It's been created to be addictive, right? Social media. And when people are super privileged in life and they got lots of things, in North America, most of us have shelter. We have access to food, water, services, things like that. What's left is our mental traumas that we have no idea what to deal with because society has not put mental health studies on the forefront, which is a huge need, by the way. That is something we seriously need. But when we live our lives like this and we work, 9 to 5 jobs, and we lack that sense of purpose and meaning. Okay, because we need that, because we're not focusing on survival anymore. So what happens is we get hooked into, society tries to provide us entertainment, whether it's, shopping, like consumerism, shopping, entertainment, TV, distractions, guidance for, how to do things, and advertisements, buy this product, buy that, or you should look like this. Here's Instagram modeling. Like, if you don't look like this, you better try harder, even though no one physically can. Like, it's insane. It's just constant feeding yourself with information and crap that's not even needed. And when people don't understand that it's okay to not always agree on things. Like, we get so threatened by that and sensitive. It's because we don't know how to live lives that are meaningful and self-fulfilling. Because when you live a life that's meaningful and self-fulfilling, you really don't need to go onto Facebook and harass somebody that posted something stupid. Like, if you think it's stupid, keep scrolling. Like, it's not a big deal. It's not going to affect you. And, and the truth is we're not going to convince each other or we're not going to truly get someone to believe what we believe in. If they don't believe in what you believe in, don't waste your energy. Like, live your life, live it for you, live your truth, and allow those people to come in your life that like to live the same way, or be the same way or believe in the same things. It's a waste of time to hate each other. It's a waste of emotion, and hate and stress is so damaging to your mental health and your physical health. Like, I'm talking hair loss, gut issues, insomnia, anxiety, depression, focusing on these things on a little phone or computer. It's not worth it, you guys. It's not worth it. Okay? And media and then the government, like they're all, you're going to get ideas about what's going on all over the globe, but like it's good to be informed, but do like focus on you and focus on your life, because that's where you're going to find happiness and meaning. And your true community where people vibe with you. And again, don't take what other people's opinions like that are opposing, don't take them seriously, but like if it's like, leftism or rightism or spiritual or anti-spiritual, like, or whatever it is, like if it's like, if it used to trigger you before, look at it with a dab of curiosity and ask yourself, why does this trigger my sense of self? Like, what about this discussion is hurting me right now? And truth is, it might be some douchebag on social media saying something really rude, but it doesn't have to mean anything to you. Like, you don't have to make it a thing. Like, fuck that person who, excuse my language, I swear too much. I'm probably going to get kicked off of YouTube. But it doesn't have to mean anything. Like, it just doesn't have to matter. Like, you're alive, you're well, you got a roof over your head, you got time to spare. Like, go use it up and do the things that you love to do in this life, because you're only going to live this particular embodiment and this particular life once. So enjoy it. Do it for you. And don't waste your time fighting and trying to convince people your side, or, retaliating to hateful comments. Be in that love vibration that you truly are, and give your love to the ones that really love and are there for you. And I think that's the best thing to do at this point. All right, guys, thank you so much. I hope, wow, this was a really long conversation. I just looked at the time. Oopsie. Well, hope you have a good day.